Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Fatrobzpizza. Hey YouTube, it's Fatrobzpizza again with another computer build. This time we're going to use a DIY PC case. It's called it's a S3 TG LED, and it's a white mid-tower case for our micro ATX motherboard. It's got plenty of room, that's for sure. It's white, has lots of cooling vents and stuff, and it does have the tempered glass side panel. So let me show you what it looks like. Okay, here we have tempered glass. Let's see, let's just take off this tempered glass just so it doesn't get broken. We'll save these nuts here. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put these in here just so nothing gets lost. Because it has these rubber grommets to protect the glass. Okay, this case, like I said, it is the mid-tower case, so it's a lot taller. Everything's in white. Top has a removable filter, and we have our ports on the top. We have two regular USB 3.0, microphone, headset, reset button, and power button. Okay, on the front, this is all vented and open for airflow. The bottom got feet and a little filter for the power supply. And then on the back, we have where the power supply goes here. That's in its own basement. I/O goes here. We have plenty of slots for graphics card, and then we have the out exhaust fan here. Let's see, inside we have the exhaust fan, and on the front we have three fans drawing air in, so this is going to have plenty of airflow. I don't think we'll need to add any more fans. We could always put, no, actually on this one we're going to use water cooling, so this whole top here will have that radiator with the fans built in, so that'll also be for exhaust. So it looks like we'll have 3 coming in and 3 going out, which should be plenty. Okay, we have motherboard goes here, graphics card will go down here, so power supply goes down here in the bottom. Got room to do cable manage behind everything, and this will have RGB or ARGB if my motherboard will support it. Okay, so we'll take off this back panel, which is solid, in order to get to those cables. Okay, looks like down inside we have the plastic bag with our hardware in it, and it looks like everything's zip tied to the cables for the front panel and USB, etc. Okay, I know you're thinking, what parts are going to go in this? It's a good question. What's this for me? Okay, now for this build, like I said, we're going to go with water cooling, and that glare will come off here. This is the Vetru ARGB Lurker V240. It's got 2 fans, two 120mm fans. It's ready. It's AM5 ready, so it will work with our AM5 processor that we're going to use. Anyway, it's all in white. We're going to try to go with the white theme here as close as we can. So we have, the white fans, ARGB, and that's going to look cool lit up on the motherboard as well. Okay, next we have, for our graphics card, we are going with the Intel Arc A770 Sparkle ROC OC edition. It's got 16 gigabytes of DDR6 RAM. It's the Luna edition, which means it should be a white to match our theme. Ah, and it is. Okay. Now this is the 2-fan model. Big beefy card. Okay. So we have, let's see, DisplayPort. You have USB or HDMI. Display port. So I think it's 3 display ports. Yeah. So we have 3 display ports. Can you see all that? Anyway, 3 display ports, 1 HDMI, 2 fan. It has 2 8-pin connectors for power. And it's got the full metal plate on the back, and we've got a cover on the connector. Okay, so that's going to be our graphics. So it's going to be plenty fast enough to play all these games, and 16 gigabytes of RAM is plenty for just about all the games nowadays. Okay, so that's the Rock Edition Luna Arc A770 from Sparkle. All right, and for the guts, for the insides, we are going with the ASRock B650M AM5 motherboard. Inside, we are going to use the Silicon Power Zenith 32 gigabyte kit. So that's 2x16. I think, yeah, these will run 6,000 megahertz. We'll have to adjust some settings in the BIOS. We'll have to enable the Expo. Anyway, these are in white. I believe these are ARGB as well. I'll look that up and see. For our processor, this is an AliExpress AM5 Ryzen 5 7500F, which should pair nicely with that Arc A770 and have no bottlenecks in our games. For our storage, we have our Generation 4 Silicon Power NVMe 1 terabyte, so that's going to be plenty of room for our operating system and games. We're not going to put a second drive in here. We don't need it. There's our M.2 sprue. How-to book. Let's see, we've got a couple of SATA cables, which we're not going to put a SATA drive in here, so those are just extra for now. And then the board itself. That's kind of pretty. A little bit of white on there, lots of silver, so it's going to match this theme real well. AM5. You see that okay? AM5 socket here has 2 DDR5 RAM slots. Then there's our 24-pin power. Looks like we have right angle connectors, so that's nice. That'll kind of help with some of the cable management, I believe. We'll have to remove these brackets in order to get that water cooler block on here to the processor. We got our CMOS battery. Now our let's see, our graphics card slot. This is our PCI 16, line 16. It's got the metal on the outside, so that'll help reinforce that plastic. This is where our M.2 goes underneath this heatsink. Let's see. Our front panel connections are down here. We have some SATA if we need it. Here is a Hyper M.2 slot. Not familiar with that, so I'll have to look that up. This also can accept Wi-Fi if you put a card in here. It has the I/O shield built in. We're not going to worry about these graphics ports because we're going to use a card, but it's got plenty of USB 3.0 and a USB-C, gigabit Ethernet. Actually, it's got the 2.5 gigabit. That's nice. And then the standard audio jacks there. All right. Oh, we've got an 8-pin for motherboard power. Let's put this. I'm just going to put this in right now because we're going to be building on this here. Inside, and put all this back in until we need it. Okay. Down there. And that is the parts that we're using. So we have the case, we have motherboard, CPU, RAM, storage, we have cooling, which is the water cooler, and we have the graphics card. So the only thing that we really need now is a power supply. And for the power supply, we have the good old faithful Sigotep GN 650 watt power supply. And we've used this a lot, but it's a good one. You don't have any failures, and it has plenty of power for what we're doing with that 7500F and the A770 graphics card. You could go with a little bit higher one, maybe a 7 or 750. I don't think I have one. I think the biggest one I have is an 850, which we don't need for this yet. So we get into some higher end stuff. Okay, so those are the parts, and we're gonna start building soon. Okay, so be excellent. Hey YouTube, it's Fatrobzpizza again. Back working with the DIY PC. It's the S3TG LED case. It's a micro. I guess it's a mid tower. Anyway, it's got a basement for the power supply. It's got white or LED fans. Anyway, I'm not sure what color yet. We've got the ASRock B650M HDV, which is a socket AM5 motherboard. And for this build, okay, so we're going to get started with, well, we'll just get started with the motherboard since it's here. And what we're going to do is build it right on the box. I'm going to leave that foam under it just for some extra cushion. There we are. Anyway, we're going to get these mounts off. These sockets. Put them aside. Okay, keep that in. Put those aside. So all the VRAM has heat sinks on it. That's nice. It has a M.2 heat shield and protector cover. I already got the 2032 CMOS battery installed. So let's see. Let's put the processor in first and move that to the side. That lifts up. This lifts up. Don't touch that. That's where the pins are. If you can look right down here, there's a little triangle. Anyway, little triangle in the upper corner. And then on the processor has a triangle in that upper corner as well. You just gently place that in there. It seats down in there. Lower that, and then use this to put the tension on there to secure the processor. Anyway, I'm going to save that cover just in case we need it later. Okay, so we got the processor installed. Let's go ahead and get our memory installed. Like I said, this is silicon power. It's two 16 gigabyte sticks, so 32 altogether at 6,000 megahertz. So we're going to have to enable the is it Expo? Yeah, Expo in the BIOS in order to get those higher speeds. But we're going to do that anyways. I'm excited to see if these actually light up. Okay, there's a notch in here. It's not in the center, so you want to make sure when you're putting this in here that it goes to the right section. Okay, so it's going to go in this direction. Now these ones on this side are fixed, so we're going to load it in this first, and then it'll snap down on this other side. You hear the clicks, that means it's in there. Okay, second one, same thing. Let's see. Yeah, put this side in first. So we get down there. Thumbs, click. You have to make sure that these come up with the clicking. You don't want to do that by hand because then they might not be seated correctly. All right, so far so good. We've got memory, we've got CPU. I guess we're going to do the hard drive next. Like I said, that's a M.2 1 terabyte by silicon power SSD. It's got plenty of room for Windows and some games. We could have went with a 512, but that anymore, that's just really too small. It's kind of pushing it. Okay. Screw that. Screw. Now on the back of this is a heat transfer pad, and we're going to take off this plastic protector because we want that touching the hard drive for sure. Okay, now for the hard drive out here. Now the way this gets installed is here's the slot that it goes into. So this circle thing is going to go right here. Now there's that notch. There's also a notch here to make sure that we line those up. It goes in at an angle around a 45 degree, and then that'll just sit down just like that. What we're going to do is use this. There we go. Use that heat shield to hold it down. Install the screws. not tight yet because we want equal pressure. So we're gonna put this other one in. We don't want them super tight, just a little snug. Okay, there's snug. This other side, get it down snug. Excellent. Okay, now we've got the storage, we've got the memory, we've got the CPU. We are ready. We are ready to install. Normally we would put the motherboard in the case right now and then add the I would add the cooling unit, but I think because the last time I did one of these it was a little difficult, so I'm going to do get it installed out here and then put the whole thing in there at once and then screw everything where it needs to go. So I think I have to put that together. So we're going to move this motherboard for now up here. Take this. Okay, and that cooler is the let's see, what are we using? The Fatrobzpizza V240. It's ARGB, which this is not an ARGB board, but I think I have a controller that we can use. Let's see, it's AM5 ready. 2 fan, it's in white. It's got white sleeved tubes. It'll look all right. Okay, so here is the main unit. This is what goes on the processor. There's the fans that go on the radiator part. And here is a mystery bag full of goodies to help this build go. All right, so let's see the fans. Let's see, this is going to mount this way on the case, which means this will. Let's see, how will that go? That looks. I guess it'll go like that on the motherboard, which means these fans go something like that. Something like that. Okay, want those to go out the rear port. Okay, so those are going to mount like that. And let's see how this is going to work. I know those instructions, but okay, so this goes down through the top. Okay, so that's not correct. So these are going to go up through the fan. Yes, that'll work. Up through the fan and then get attached to the bottom of the radiator. I'll go ahead and get some of these started. Those are snug. When this gets mounted, those wires will be on the rear to go out the top of that. That's good. I'll plug them into the motherboard for power and then to that ARGB controller. So, okay, YouTube. I looked at the instructions because this wasn't making any sense. And apparently, those stock brackets that I took off, I got to put them back on because they actually get used on this one, which is strange. It's probably the first one I've had that actually uses the stock bracket. But we'll do it. Again, this is the Ryzen 5 7500F. I'm gonna pair that with that Arc A770 60 gigabyte. Should be wonderful. Okay, then this little packet has got some brackets. Let's see here. Okay, so it has these two clips. These go through them and then attach on those stock coolers, and then looks like, yeah, that is what actually holds it down. So we have thumb screws for that. So I guess I'm going to need to attach, let's see. Now this is going to have to get flipped and go up like that. That just is just so weird. Now those brackets. So that's gonna have to go down from here to the thumb screw. A couple turns. The second one on the other side. A couple of turns. The thumb screw. All right, now hook one side. Lay it down. Get the other side hooked. Gotta keep it in the middle. Okay, we're going to use a screwdriver. Make sure it's snug. Not too tight, just snug. So it'll spread out all that paste all over the top of that processor. Don't see that going anywhere. All right, so we've got, okay, recap. We've got the SSD storage underneath this heat spreader. We've got two 16 gigabyte sticks of DDR5 6000 megahertz RAM. I think they're LED. We have the processor installed under here, thermal paste, and we have our pump block here. And then that goes all up to the radiator here. And then all this is going to get put into this case. So I think that's the next step, is installing it into the case. So let me clean up this area a little bit, and then that's what we're going to do. Peace. Okay, YouTube. I think we are ready to put this whole unit inside the case. So I'm going to move this out of the way for now. Get this case situated where we can see everything. All right, so we've got the basement here where the power supply is going to go. We got 3 fans on the front for intake. We've got 1 fan on the back for exhaust. And we're going to have those 2 fans on the radiator blowing up. So that'll be exhaust as well. So what we have to do, we're going to have to clear that cable for the fan. Don't let the motherboard get hung on it. Okay, so we are going to set this on the outside for now. Give us room to get this stuff down here on the inside. We've got 6 standoffs and 6 holes, 2 at the top, 2 around the center, and 2 at the bottom. Okay, and what's going to go in there is the bag of screws from the case. Let's see, it's got a few zip ties in there, which we'll probably use. It's got the speaker, which we probably may not need. And it's got all the case screws that we need, including the ones for the power supply, which normally I would already put the power supply into the case. But on this one, since it's so bulky, I want to get everything put in it first, and then we'll put the power supply in here in the bottom. Okay, so this here is a motherboard screw, and it's a fine thread, and it looks like it's got a little washer attached to it. Anyway, so that is the motherboard screw. And I'm just going to get some in here started, and then we'll start tightening them down. And these we also do not want super tight. We want them just snug. And now this hex head screw, that's a coarse screw with the hex head, and this is what's usually used for the to hold in your PCI, like your graphics card, etc., things like that. And then also 4 of them will be for the power supply. So we need these ones with the built-in washer. Okay, so for some reason, this is not made for a water cooler. That doesn't make any sense. All right, kids, we're gonna have to go a different route and use a different kind of cooler, because apparently this case was not made for a water cooler, because it's not enough room. Okay, all right, we'll try that again. Okay, YouTube. I was gonna change this out, but I think I've found another way for it to work. I took 2 of the fans off the front and then put the radiator on the front, and then I put those fans up here in the top for cooling. And these are exhaust fans now. And then I switched the fans around the radiator to the intake. So we still have 3 coming in and 3 blowing out. Okay, recap. There was 4 fans up front. I took off 2 of them, left the one in the bottom. We put our radiator to the front, tubes at the top for the air. Flip these fans around to where they're drawing in. Flip these fans to where they're blowing out. Same, the back one is always blowing out. Let's see, routed all the wires down below. Really, that's it. So this had a magnetic cover up here. So put that on to look pretty again. There you go. No. See, just looks like it's supposed to everywhere. Okay, so at this point, I think I'm going to install the power supply. Yeah, because everything else is routed and ready for it. So I think that's going to be the next step. Okay. So, reminder, we have the Segotep 650. It is not a modular, it has all the cables, which is fine. We are going to need the SATA on this to power the RGB. Let's see, let's take off this connector here. And we're going to install this with the fan blowing down. Here's the back. So, this is going to go right in this compartment here. Yep. And then it goes to the back. And then the holes line up with the holes in the back of the unit. You can see that. There's the power supply. And then there's the 1, 2, 3, 4 holes that's going to get screws put in them. I'm going to go ahead and just use these silver screws. Hex head, coarse thread that came with the baggie that was sent with us. Being a white build, it'll look nice. Okay, so we're gonna start one and get all 4 of them in, then we'll tighten them up. Okay. So it's snug. Down snug. This one's snug. All right. Power supply is in. Snug. Now we get to make all this stuff work. Actually, what I can do before we start putting all the power and everything in is these are the cables to our motherboard. That's USB 3. We have our front panel, power and everything. We have our HD audio and our USB. And looking at this motherboard, we are going to put the USB 3 will come in here. Cable. That will come in through the side, not the bottom of it. I think what I'm going to do is put it in the sideways one. That'll look a lot cleaner. This one. Yeah, all the way in. Can't see blue on the sides. There we go. Okay, USB 3 is in. Then we have, let's see, our audio is in the bottom left. Yes, audio. The audio will come down here from the bottom left. And what that is, that's this one here. You can see that. And on the bottom left, it does have a pin missing, second one in. And on the connector, it has the same thing, so you just want to make sure you get the right sides matching. That, there you go. Pulls down. Hold it slack. Now we have front panels over here. And we have the USB header, which is right here. Okay. So that's both of those are going to be in that second slot. So where do those cables go? Okay, here's our front panel, and there's our USB. So those are going to go in this side here. I'll feed them up. We'll pull the slack back. Okay, so USB has the one pin missing in the corner, which is on the lower side here. So I'm going to pull it nice and tight, and then front panel right here in this corner. So we have our power LEDs. Will go in the top left corner. See, power switch is next. Yes, and that goes right next to him. So the top right ones, the LED or the HD LED will go in the bottom left, just underneath the power LED ones, and then the reset switch, there you go, back, and that goes underneath the power switch. There we go. So all four of those connectors are on. Pull some slack. There we go. All right. So we have our USB 3, front panel, USB, HD audio. Now we got to run power because we're going to need, that's going to be a tight fit to get my fingers in there. But anyway, the 8-pin CPU power here, 24-pin power here. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all we're going to need on the front. So in this tangled web of cables, the 24-pin is what we want. There. Okay, so that 24-pin is going to go through here. Top one. Up through here. Okay, I'm just going to put that in there for now. And then we're going to need a CPU power, which is, that was SATA. This is PCIe. Now this will go to our graphics card. So I may want to go ahead and get that run while we're down here. And that's going to go in this slot. We'll go in that slot there. Okay, that's for the graphics card. There's an extra PCI, so that means this one should be there, CPU power. And that is going to go on top here. If I can get it to go through. Okay, yep. Okay, now, yes, it's going to have to bend around and plug in with this clip facing out. There's not a lot of light in here, we'll see that. So if you can see that, that's the connector down there. This 8-pin down in it. Make sure it clicks. Okay. Pull the slack back through there. There we go. It's not going to interfere with that fan. Nope. Okay, so that's that part. Now this is for their graphics card. Now this is 24-pin. The clip is on the outside. You're going to make sure that clicks good. There we go. It's nice and smooth. Clicked it. Okay. Okay, so we got our power. Got our fans hooked up to power. We got USB 3, USB 2, front panel. This is ready for our graphics card. There's a USB. Then we have our HD audio over here in the back. Yeah, I think this is just about ready to hook up. Let me, okay, so in the back, what we're gonna need to do is hook up power for the fans. And there's another pin down here. Try to keep everything together. That's the old Molex connector type. We could daisy chain these together. And then on the power cables, one of these, there is the Molex power. That is going to go up here and get connected to that. Nope. There we go. Okay. Make sure those are all tight. Okay, we got power there. There it is. Okay, and this power splitter here, marked for those fans. That's already hooked to the motherboard. Okay, there we are. I think that's everything that we need. So what we're going to do is cable manage. And one good thing about this is it has a hard drive cage. And what we're going to do is these cables that we don't need, we're going to bundle them. I'm not going to zip tie these just in case we need to go into them for troubleshooting or something, but I'm going to put these down in there, shove them in that tray, and then that gets them out of the way. And everything else, we just got to make it look good. Let me check that back. Cover that. Okay, so we have power on. The power hooked up. Everything back here hooked up. Power going to that RGB. Now we're ready to add a graphics card. And what we're going to add is, let's see. Actually, first thing we need to do is go ahead and put this cover back on the front. Let's see here. There we go. That looks good. Okay. Graphics over. This was that ARC A770, 16 gigabyte ROC Sparkle, 16 gigabyte in white. This is the Luna edition. Remove that thing there that covers those connectors. Okay, now let's see where this thing is going to go. It's going to be quite a tight fit. So it's going to be those top two. So we're going to remove this one here, and then the other one is a breakaway. So this one is on this with a screw. I'm going to save that screw. To the side. Now these breakaway ones, you just push in on them, and you wiggle them, and they pop off. That's trash. Okay. So this is such a tight fit. It's crazy. All right. So if that works, gonna go. In. Okay. Okay, it's snapped into place. We're gonna put this screw here to hold, keep it from moving. And one more. There we go. Okay. 1, 2. Snug. Very snug. Well, it's only like not even an eighth of an inch clearance. That is crazy. Okay, so it does take both of them. So this does take both of these connectors. So I'm going to put, there we go. This one comes straight down into the socket, and that clicked. This one here right next to it. Yep, there we go. Good clicks. Okay, so now we have that there. So nothing interfering with the fans. Okay, there we go. Much better. All right, so here's the build. All right, we've got our exhaust fans top and back. We have our pump for our water cooling or liquid cooling going to the top of this radiator, which is affixed to this. We got one more intake fan here. These were flipped to draw air through. We have our A770 16 gigabyte Intel graphics card here and hooked up. All the power is hooked up. Memory is in. We got storage. So I think we're ready to put power up to this and fire it up. So, okay, got keyboard, got mouse. Let's see, are we ready? There we go. Look at that RGB all the way around. All right. Hey YouTube, Fatrobzpizza again. And yesterday we had a little mishap with the graphics card not allowing the computer to fully boot up. And I'm not sure what it was. I think it was just not plugged in correctly because I took it out, put another graphics card in, and it worked just fine. So I loaded Windows and got everything installed and then shut it down, took it out, put the Sparkle Rock OC Edition Arc A770 back in, the 16 gigabyte. It is booted right up and it works perfect. So not real sure what went on there, but as you can see, we've got 2 fans in the top, 1 in the back. Yeah. Then we got 3 in the front, 2 on the radiator and 1 down below, all blowing in. There's of course 2 fans on the GPU blowing up, and then these are exhaust fans at the top and rear. It's a good looking build. I kind of wish I had some white cable extensions to put on this, but this will do. It's got kind of like a black and white scheme going on anyway. The motherboard's got some silver on it. The liquid cooler is working fine. Everything seems to be working. Everything registered. 32 gigabytes of RAM. I enabled the the Expo in the BIOS to run this at the 6,000 megahertz for the RAM instead of 48, which is what it's trying to do. So that should help it as far as speeds go. Right now I'm installing Fortnite, and that's going to take a bit, so I'm going to sign off here for now, and then we'll get into some gameplay here in a little while. All right, be excellent. Ooh, throw us right in there. Let's see. Oh, everything's new. Not used to this controller. It's been a while. All right, let's see how this works. Dropping in, first drop in the new season on this account. Seems pretty smooth so far. A little bit of stutter. Like I said, first drop usually takes a bit for everything to load in, and it'll smooth out. I pulled my shoe too late. Yeah, I did. It's not a lot of vehicles here. There's one. Now I'm in Buildz. I got to change it. This should be short-lived. Why, you ask? Because I suck at Buildz. I'm an old dude.
weapons is probably best. So I can find some heals. We got one heal. Shield bubble. Two heals, good deal. All right. A little bit of gold. Not much gold. Ammo's good. More ammo. I like it. Gunfire outside. How much gold that was? 260. Nice. Another 260. Wow. There we go. That's a good gun. My aim is ass. Not used to this controller. It's pretty similar to the one I normally use. That's what's weird. some people. Oh, third place though. Got hit with a mythic. Well, how did I do? 7 kills. Not too awful. Well, no stutters, smooth gameplay. This is a 7500F Ryzen 5, 32 gigabytes of RAM. The Sparkle Intel Arcs A770, 16 gigabyte graphics card, 1 terabyte hard drive, SSD, M.2. We got water cooling going on, plenty of fans, RGB. It's a good looking system. All right, guys, this is going to be for sale locally. Still trying to find someone to sell them for me. If anybody local here sees this and wants to retail them for me, we could work something out. All right, y'all, be excellent. Thanks for watching.